Hi guys, welcome to GladrapChannel.
He's relentless.
Thanking those body shots. And he
whips them.
oh, and that is it. Oh,
Very experienced as well. But again, a bloodiness there for the precious
Shay, I am absolutely nothing away from Tej. He blistered through his first two opponents. It's a hard one to call. Dell steps up every single fight, and he's actually starting to land a few shots on Pascoe.
Yeah, just tonight. I mean, he put away Kerry in the second round. Kerry Davies breaking Pascoe down, not only physically.
Body shot drops him, Shay.
Yeah, not only physically.
How much longer this can continue to go on. Big shot again landed there from Tej.
And there it is. Ref John
It
Conway
is
calls.
over.
So GladrapChannel here with Tej Pratap Singh, who's just come back from a holiday from South Island.
Yeah,
How was that, first of all?
it was amazing. Like, the place was amazing. The
Yeah.
weather was amazing, and everything. Like, we went on a hunting trip. Like, we caught some pigs. Now, actually, my mates did, because they're into hunting and everything. That was a new experience, whole new experience for me. The place was amazing. People were amazing. Everything, like, everything. We went to a town, Kaikoura, where all the backpackers come in.
Yeah.
So it was a bit like cut off because of the earthquake over there, but otherwise, like, the whole trip was amazing. The views, the valleys, the gullies, like, it was just like mind blowing. So.
Did you go to several places around the South Island? Or?
We stayed at Mosgiel,
Okay.
Dunedin, like been to Dunedin,
Yeah, Dunedin.
and we went for a hunt in Middlemarch.
Uh-huh.
So yeah, it was really nice places.
And first time, right?
Yeah, that was my first time, and like I pretty much covered the whole New Zealand.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was amazing.
And I mean, it was a good way to relax, right? After winning the Auckland
Definitely, yeah.
championship.
It was like a lot to take in, because I just won WBA Oceania title,
Uh-huh.
and there was a lot to put on a risk. Like if I lose even one fight, like due to fatigue or whatever the reason may be, like I might go back. So it was sort of a risk, but it all paid off. I won the whole tournament, so I'm happy about that.
It's like you came, you saw, and you conquered, right? It's
If you look at from your perspective, you could say that, but I still had to put a lot of work in.
Yeah.
It wasn't that easy, and I didn't have enough time, because after the fight, my parents were there, so I was pretty much traveling Australia as well. So then, when they left, like I got back into training again, like then started preparing for the Super 8. So I wasn't training regularly, like I had a bit of gap in between. That cost me a bit, because I put on weight, and like it's not easy to get off quickly. So but yeah, it all like worked well at the end, so that's which I'm really happy about.
Yeah. So what's your normal? Like, what's the weight you walk around in?
If I'm actually fit, like I'm training regularly and I'm fit, I sit around 78.
78. Okay.
77, 78. But since I wasn't doing anything, I was like I was in Perth initially, then to Gold Coast, like so I had maybe around 15 days off, 15 to 20 days off. So I was around 82, 83.
Go on.
So cutting down 10 kilos is a lot for me. So, and like even if you're heavy, like you lose your speed, like you lose your fitness and everything. Like I wasn't fit, like even when I was sparring, I was a bit slow. So I had to work even harder to just catch up from where I left.
Okay.
But made it somehow at the end. So yeah.
So it was a challenge getting down to that weight, like 73, 72. What's the limit again for?
72.57 is the limit.
Yeah.
No, it wasn't the challenge. I was more stressed about cutting down weight, like but when I looked at the end, I cut down easily.
Okay.
So it was just mental stress rather than like physical stress that I was taking on. but I made it easy. I was 71.7 on the weigh-in, so it wasn't really difficult. It just like, I was stressing out whether I can make it or not. It's just like, in the head. That's where it was.
Mm-hmm. You know, the three opponents that you face, Kerry, Holly, Jerome.
Yeah.
These are, I mean, they're well known around New Zealand, So
Okay.
to see someone like you just come in and sort of, it was almost like a demolition job in a way.
To be honest, I don't take anyone lightly, even
Yeah.
like, even if they don't have any experience, or even if they are good, like, every fight is different. This time, like, I didn't know their style, so it was a bit new to me.
Mm-hmm.
For other fighters, I like, sort of like look at them, like, to start preparing accordingly. But then again, 80% is your basic training, 20% you skill wise, or like, you change a bit of it, the rest of the 20%, but 80% is your normal training, what you usually do. So I was doing that, and like, whatever it was, like, I knew like there's gonna be some southpaws, there's gonna be some orthodox. So I was preparing for orthodox to orthodox, orthodox to southpaw. So I was fighting both orthodox and southpaw fighters. So which was good actually. So now I used to be a bit hesitant around southpaws, not anymore. I'm pretty comfortable around them now.
So the setup is a little bit challenging because you sort of have to prepare for everything in a way.
Yeah.
So how do you prepare for you have to fight three different fighters in one night? How do you like, is that a different training that you took for this?
Not really. Just look at the amateur fighters. Like, just Commonwealth Games just happened. Like, the fighters who won the gold medal in their weight categories, they pretty much fought different fighters. Not in one day, of course, but they were fighting different fighters in a tournament. So just think of yourself as an amateur. And people think like an amateur and pro boxing are different. They are different in a bit, but it's boxing at the end. You're going to throw 6 punches. You're going to use your feet. You're going to use your head to duck punches or weave or slip, whatever you want to do. It's just basic boxing. So you got to set up like, just what there was in my mind, like, I'm gonna be fighting 3 fights, that's all. Like, I wasn't thinking like, what happens, like, if I lose first fight and like, I got out. I was preparing that I'm gonna be fighting for 3 fights. I'm gonna be preparing myself like that, and I'm gonna do it, and I'll do it. That's how I came in. And if I had lost, I would have, like, it doesn't bother me, it wouldn't have bothered me, but like, I came here to win, and that's what pretty much I did.
Were you telling yourself, okay, in the first fight, we'll take it a little bit easier, in the second fight we'll go a little harder, and then a third we just go all out? Was it something like that?
No, it wasn't anything like that. I knew, like, for the first 30 seconds to a minute, like, I gotta take it easy to know a boxer, because I don't have enough time. It's just 3 rounds. I gotta figure him out within a minute. Otherwise, like, I might lose the fight, because if in amateurs, what happens is, if you lose first round, you pretty much lose the fight, because it's really hard to come back. So that thing was in my mind, like, if I lose the first round, I don't think I'll be able to come back again. So the thing was, just give it in pro fights, like, I'm a slow starter, like, but I'm trying to improve on that aspect as well. But for the first minute, I thought, like, I should, like, see him, like, and just feel him out a bit, so that, like, I know what he's like and whatever punches he throw. So, and after that, I'll start working myself in. So that was my plan, and that's how I worked in all the fights. And like, I didn't warm up well enough in the first fight, so I was a bit slow, but the guy got tired easily, like, which was a relief for me, because, like, he was sharp, no doubt about it, like, he was pretty sharp, but like,
we're talking about Kerry Davies, right?
Yeah, Kerry Davies,
First
fight, he was sharp, but like, he got tired in the end, which worked in my favor. So yeah,
he looked like he couldn't get away from you, like
it's just like, I was cutting off ring, like, my coach has taught me pretty well how to cut off the ring, like, so that, like, you're always in front of your opponent, like, and you're working in front of him. Even if you're not working, you make it look like you're working a lot. So that's what it was all about, and it was a pressure game, and it all paid off.
So for Kerry, like, how did you approach him? Like, so first 30 seconds, how you just took it, took your foot off the gas pedal and just tried to assess?
No, it just like try to remain calm, like
Yeah.
let's see what he's up to and like what's he gonna do.
How did you rate that fight? Like how did you think of Kerry and?
He's pretty good.
Yeah.
Like he was fast, he was sharp, and I wouldn't call him a big puncher.
Mhm.
Like decent power, but like not a big puncher. It was a good fight, and I wouldn't call any of my opponents like weak or like not strong enough. Like they're all big fights, and like basically you're in a fight.
Mm-hmm.
So I can't take anyone lightly.
Mm-hmm. Do you think he exerted too much energy, perhaps?
I'm not sure. I can't tell what he was doing and what happened to him. Like honestly, like you have to ask him.
Mhm.
But from my perspective, that was my plan. Like just pressure or feel him out and then start working, and it paid off.
Mm-hmm. And how do you assess the second fight with Holly Love?
Second fight,
I think you were a bit disappointed. Like
I was.
Yeah.
I really was. Even my coach was really disappointed. He pulled me out. Like he said, I want to talk to you in private, and said like you fought shit. You fought completely shit. Like you fought like you used to fight when you came up to me. Like swinging everywhere. Like just swinging, and wasting a lot of energy
Mhm.
for whatever reason. But like it was the shittest I've ever seen you fight. And the other guy, like in the final after winning,
Mhm.
the final guy, like he's a very good boxer. I
Jerome
watched
Pascoe,
him. Yeah,
yeah.
I watched him. Like he's a good boxer, good foot movement, and like everything, good combos. I don't think you lost in front of him. Like if you're gonna fight like it,
Mhm.
like that. So it was a well lesson learned. Like, but then again, in the second fight, I reckon in the last 30 seconds or a minute of the fight, like I sort of found my game. I started using my feet and like started missing his punches.
Mhm.
So it was working at the end, but for the most of the fight, I wasn't impressed. I was disappointed.
You said his head was coming like to.
Yeah,
to-
on my gut, like he was keeping his head on my gut, which was making me difficult to hit him, and he was pushing me off with his head rather than like he was pushing me with his fight when he was tired. Like after swinging, he was also swinging, and he was getting tired. I could see, and he was pushing me a lot.
Mhm.
So that's another reason. But then again, when he was pushing, I was changing angles. Like in the last minute of the fight, I started doing that. It was working well for me. I should have done that right from the beginning, but anyway, like it was a lesson learned. I'll be more careful if that happens to me in the near
Yeah,
upcoming future.
he did a good job of holding. Like
Yeah, pretty much I would say that, and he was good with his combos as well.
Yeah.
They all were, I would say, like fast punchers. Like they were pretty quick, all of them. So yeah, and the good thing was like I remained calm in the first and the third fight, not in the second though. Like I was stressing out. I was worrying a lot. Like what if I don't stop him? Like what happens if the fight goes to the points, and like I have to do something.
Mhm.
So that sort of things were going through my head, and I wasn't thinking straight, and I made mistake. So well, it worked in my like I won the fight. Like I watched the fight again. Like I saw I won it, but like not convincingly, at least according to me. I could have done a lot better, but at the end, a win's a win. So I'm pretty much happy about it.
And just to quickly, go over the last fight. Jerome Pascoe. Both the finalists in there.
Yeah.
Would you say that was the hardest of the three?
He was the better of the three. Hardest. Hard to tell, because like in the last fight, everything was working pretty much what I wanted to do. Like whatever I wanted to do was working out for me. So I wouldn't call it the hardest, because everything fell in a place, like in the place, like whatever we planned for, whatever we thought, like we should do this, we should do that, everything was working for me. So it was a good fight. He was a tough opponent. Like he was really tough. Like I hit him flush with a lot of shots. He should have gone down way too earlier, but he didn't, and he was still standing. So I would say like massive respect towards him. He was really tough, but it was He was tough. It was a bit tough fight, but like, I wouldn't call it the toughest. I reckon second one was the toughest because I was fighting shit.
Yeah, yeah. Plus, he had an awkward style as
Yeah,
well, right?
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
So it was cool to see as well. An Indian boxer come in there, knock out a Maori fighter, a British fighter, Filipino.
yeah.
So tell us a bit about yourself, your background. Where you're from.
I'm from India in the north, like in a state called Haryana. That's where I'm from. That's where you'll find most of the good boxers. Like, pro boxing is not as big as in here. Like in India, it's not big, but you'll find a lot of good amateur boxers. Like, some of them are world class. One of the middleweight from India won the Commonwealth gold medal, and he beat the favorite ones too to win it. Like, you'll find a lot of good amateur boxers. Pro boxing is picking up slowly, not as much as it is here, but like, we're getting there. But you'll definitely see a lot of good boxers, good amateur boxers in India.
And the fighter that won the Commonwealth, is he from Haryana as well?
Yeah, he is.
Okay. Is that close to Punjab or?
Yeah, it is. It
Okay.
is. So that region, basically Haryana, Punjab, and Delhi. Delhi is also state, and New Delhi is the capital of
Yeah.
India, but Delhi is a state. So this region produce a lot of good boxers, and some of them, like, who don't get the chance to represent the country, but in pros, if they had turned pro, would have done a lot better as they had done in amateurs. Because I've known a lot of real good boxers, but they're not doing they're not doing anything at this point. Like, they're just like, doing the normal daily jobs. Like, they quit boxing and, like, just normal. They're doing just normal jobs. They're not boxers anymore. So if they had boxed pro, like, would have been different for them.
Mm-hmm. So did you who introduced you to boxing?
It just, like, sort of happened. Like, my physical teacher, PT teacher in my school was a boxer, so he sort of asked me, like, whether I wanted to do boxing. I said, yeah, why not? I'll just try. So I learned a bit. Then, like, I went to college. Like, I had a 5-year off or something. I didn't do much. Then after college, I started doing boxing again. So at the age of 23 or something, I started doing
That's
boxing.
quite a late start, right?
Yeah, it is. It is. I wish I had started earlier, maybe 14 or 15. When I was 14 or 15. But anyway, like, it is what it is. So I just gotta take it from where I am now.
Did you see potential in yourself, like, from the get-go, or?
I reckon it's more about pushing me away from what I wanted to do. When I wanted to do boxing, everyone was pushing me away from it. Like, I don't think you can do it. You're too old now. Like, I don't think you have the potential. And I was a bit scared of initially, like, when I started boxing, as I reckon every person is when they get into boxing. So everyone was discouraging me. That put me off, really. That actually made me more hungrier, or, like, made me to do more and more rather than, like, quitting. So I reckon it's people who push me away and encouraged me or motivated me to do boxing.
What were they telling you to do? Were they telling you, hey?
Just like typical Indian mentality, like, do your college, do your job, go to college, get a degree, do your job, get married, have kids, blah blah blah.
Was it hard to resist that? Like, because did you have good support in your life?
It really was, to be honest. I'm not gonna lie to you, but my parents are on my side now and they're supporting me, which is really great. Well, anyway, like, they weren't happy, but they were still supporting me. But now they're happily supporting me, which is a big boost. So yeah, I'm really happy about that now.
The move to Australia, was that recent, or?
It just sort of happened. My sisters are in States.
Okay.
In Los Angeles, so I tried for States, but it didn't happen. They didn't give me the visa, so the next option was Canada, because I knew, like, basically I wanted to move out because of boxing, because I knew, like, if I stayed in India, my parents wouldn't let me do it. So then someone suggested me, maybe you should go to Australia again, that's a better option for you. So it just sort of happened.
And are you an Australian citizen now? Or?
No, not at the
Okay,
moment.
Okay.
no.
And how do you compare the boxers from Harian to like the Aussie Australian boxers? You know.
I reckon we got better boxers. I would say that some of the Australian boxers are really good, but like you'll find heaps and heaps of better boxers in India, especially in the northern region. They just don't get the opportunity to to express or to show themselves at a world level or at a decent level. But if they get the chance, you'll see they are definitely good.
Are they proud of you for following your dreams?
I don't have enough following. People don't know me well back in India, and to be honest, I don't really care about that. I do it for myself. I don't do it to show others. It just stuck up to me. I reckon stick with the boxing, or boxing stick with me. I just love doing it. I do it I do it for myself rather than for someone else.
So who are you coaching with now in Australia?
My coach is Jerry Murphy.
Okay.
We are placed at Surrey Hills in Melbourne.
In Melbourne. Okay.
Yeah. He's a really good coach, and he has supported me right from the beginning, and he has done heaps and heaps of stuff for me. So I'm really grateful to him. He has given me confidence. He has brought my game up, and yeah, I would call him as an overall help towards my career. He's a great help, and he's a great coach.
So now the good news was you were victorious. You won the Auckland 8, and now you got the mandatory title shot at the
IBO
Oceania.
Yeah.
But then also recently there's been a little bit of the suspension.
To be honest, I didn't know. Even my coach looked into it, and
can you just what's the belt again that you
WBA Oceania.
Oceania.
Yeah.
And when did you know about the suspension? Was it after the actual fight, or
it just came up on maybe the night after I won the tournament?
So you were in good spirits.
Yeah,
everything was going well.
In the morning I came to know I've been suspended for what. And
how did they notify you? Did they send you an email or?
No, it was just on Facebook. They didn't send me any email.
No warning, no hey, you got 21 days.
Nothing. They just posted on Facebook WBA Oceania champ suspended. I saw the post, and I was like, what are the grounds? They didn't state any reason. They didn't give anything. They just wrote down I've been suspended. So my coach approached my promoter, and he approached a couple of guys in WBO, maybe I don't know his name. He asked him as well. They said you didn't pay the fees to compete in this tournament to WBA, sanction fees.
Okay.
That we might have had to pay. I didn't know anything about it, but I reckon it's all sorted out. I reckon the fight fees was $259 per fight.
Okay.
That we had to pay.
All right.
Otherwise, we would be suspended. But I don't see any reason. Why would they charge us to compete in boxing fight? It wasn't a title fight or anything. It was just a fight. But anyway, whatever they asked for, so we're probably gonna be paying them now, and everything should be sorted out.
So that should lift the suspension off, or?
Hopefully, yeah. That's what I'm hoping for. It should.
Was it weird sort of finding out the rest of us that you were suspended? Was that just disappointing? Wasn't there a warning that they send, or maybe just something that you're aware of in the future? Did you think it was a bit severe?
I don't think it was necessary at all, but they did. That's what I believe. It just they didn't tell me anything, and probably it will be more to it, but I didn't focus on it at all. I just thought maybe when I go back I'll sort it out. I just wanna concentrate on my win. I won a tournament. I'll just go to South Island, have a good time, have a bit of break. Don't stress about whatever's going on. Otherwise, there's no point. Because coming to where I am now, wasn't easy, and it was a lot stressful for me. So I just thought it's pretty much the same. whatever, because in my career I've been ripped off most of the time. I reckon one loss I would say it legit, but then again he was holding me the whole time. It was for Australian title where he did like, he was holding me the whole time, pushing me like, all the fouls he could do, and referee just let him get away with it. He didn't even warn him or like, deducted a point out of him. So I lost that fight. And after that, like, the fights I fought, I reckon it was against another New Zealander, Nathan McEwen. He's based in Gold Coast now. He's not fighting anymore. So for the first 2 rounds, I reckon I would give it to him, like, because he won those rounds. Third round, I would call it a bit of draw, or maybe he pulled it off, but by a very low margin. The last 3 rounds were mine, and in the last round, I dropped him with the body shot. He was down, and he was trying to hold me up. I was trying to get away from him, and referee said, like, you're pushing me off. Stop pushing him. So I've been ripped off. Like, then I fought Ryan Breeze for 10 rounder fight. It was IBF Australasian title. I beat him easy. If you look at the YouTube, you can watch the fight yourself. Like, everyone would say I win the fight fair and square, but the decision wasn't in my favor. So I had a lot of harsh decisions towards me. Then I fought. Have you heard of name Kari's Kariuki?
No, I haven't. Yeah.
He was in the top contender, like, the contender, the series they started in Australia. He won. He was in the finals. He lost the finals, but he fought some real good fighters, and I fought him, and I smashed him. The whole fight I smashed him, and they ruled it out as a draw. So I had a lot of bad luck throughout my boxing career. So when that happened, I just thought, like, maybe just not think about it and just have a good time in South Island, which I did. So whatever happened, I'll just go back. I'm flying back tomorrow. I'll see what we have to do, and we'll sort it out straight away.
Does this make you like contemplate the reasons as to why the injustice is happening? Does it? Do you sort of brainstorm things? Does it?
I used to get pissed, but it doesn't bother me anymore. I just, like, I have to approach it differently. Like, I have to start training harder, and, like, so that I can stop my opponents rather than going to a decision.
Got it.
So I just need to work more harder, I suppose. It's always gonna be there. You can never change that, but I just have to improve myself, I suppose, like, adapt according to the situation.
That's probably a good mindset to have, right? I mean, is that what you advise people, like, people that are going through similar, just where things are just not happening?
I don't advise anyone, because, like, I'm in no position to advise anyone. I just, like, I'm just trying to look after myself, and, like, whatever I can do for myself. And I'm always looking to improve.
So, but I'm saying it's you got to compliment you for staying positive through all the adversity that you've been through.
Yeah.
Is that something your coach has been able to assist you with as well?
Yeah, he has sorted it out. Like, he was really pissed. He was angry. Like, when they said, like, I've been suspended. He been calling everyone, talking to everyone, and finally he came he came up with the good news, like, like, this is what they're gonna do, like, we have to pay this much amount, and, like, then they'll lift the suspension.
Okay, and then you're reinstated back as
as a WBA Oceania champ. Yeah.
Okay, so so now what's next now? So with this title shot, this mandatory title shot, do you know what's next on the cards?
I'm not sure really. For now, I reckon pretty much IBO Oceania, whoever comes up to fight me, like, for WBA, like, I probably might be defending that title as well. So whoever comes in, I'll fight them.
Do you think it's easier now to get opponents, like, with the strap? Because I know you mentioned before it was hard for you to find opponents.
I'm pretty much new to this game, to be honest. Like, I wasn't at that level. Now I am. I don't know how it works, but like, probably if I have 1 or 2 more fights, I'll probably know how it works. But hopefully should be able to get opponents easily, like you said, like, because those who are hungrier, who want to get the title shot, like, they'll probably come and fight me. So yeah.
But was it hard for you back in the past to secure fights?
Yeah, it was, because
were they just aware of your reputation?
2017, I only had 3 pro fights.
Okay.
In 2016, I had 4. So I was looking to fight more and more, probably 6 or 7 fights, but I wasn't getting any.
Mm-hmm.
Now, this year I had 4 fights, like, which is good. So I probably might be having another one in August or July, somewhere around that. That's what I'm hoping for. And yeah, I should get more fights now.
That's pretty fantastic, right?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. So, you came over here, you took everyone by surprise, and you definitely made a name for yourself.
Thanks, man. Yeah.
And it's a very good performance.
Thank you, man. Thank you. I appreciate it.
I guess just so next fight in July. What's your goal, like, in boxing, like the ultimate, like
I would like to go as far as I could, like, probably will go for a world title one day.
Yeah.
I know that I need to put in a lot of work to get there, to get at that level, which I'm willing to do, and that's what I'm gonna do.
Has that been achieved before by like an Indian?
No.
Okay.
Not really.
So there's history in the making that could, if you win this.
Well, I wouldn't go there. I just try to focus on myself and my progress.
Yeah.
Rather than thinking about, I should be the first Indian to go there.
100%. No, I get you, but just from my perspective,
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, fantastic, man. So going back to Australia tomorrow.
Yeah.
Anyway, thank you so much for your time.
No worries, man. Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Yeah,
I really appreciate it.
Give a message to the people that just discovering you, or the people that have been following you, just where they can find more about you, and I don't know, Instagram, Facebook, I don't know.
Yeah, I've got Instagram under the name Tej PS. Just find me out on Instagram, and same as Facebook, Tej PS. I don't have a fan page, but I'll be making one soon.
Yeah.
So yeah, if you want to follow me on Instagram, it's Tej PS. Just follow me up.
Fantastic, Tej. Hope there's no more injustice for you, and things go swimmingly and well.
Thank you, man.
And yeah, man. Thank you so much for taking the time to talk
man.
to us. Thank you so much.
Appreciate it.
Thank
you.
Tej.